Hello and welcome to the Back Nine Report, and we continue the countdown of the top 10 stories in the world of golf for 2021, and we are up to number 7. And this one is one that definitely we talked about. It seemed like all year something happened, something came up. So here counting down with Kieran Clark and Fred Altvater. Number 7 is about Greg Norman being named the CEO of the LIV investment, which is a golf-centric investment group. And he's named also the commissioner of a yet-to-be-named league, a professional league that is coming up. And also this investment group investing in the Asian Tour, the PGA Tour and the European Tour had their reaction. So definitely, this is a story that's going to keep growing and growing. And I think that next year, guys, we're going to be talking about it a lot. So, Fred, what's your reaction to Greg Norman, the Shark, taking finally a shot that he has been wanting to have for a long time at the PGA Tour and the European Tour to try to see that world tour with the LIV investment backing on this yet-to-be-named league?
We were talking a little bit off camera before we started filming these segments. And you know, guys, this is one of the most intriguing golf stories I think I have witnessed in over 30 years of being involved in golf. Tiger was, is, and will continue to be the most popular thing in golf. But Greg Norman and his merry band of Saudis, loaded with cash and trying to make a dent in the stranglehold the PGA Tour has on world professional golf, is interesting to say the least. Greg lost his first go-round against the tour in the mid-90s, but it did spawn the World Golf Tour series of 4 events for the top players. But now, with over $200 million of the Sheikah's oil money in his back pocket, the great white shark is trying to lure the game's top names to compete in big money, no-cut events all over the world. By taking over the Asian Tour, the LIV group now has a platform to start a schedule of events. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Mana says, not so fast, boys. Anyone playing in these events will be banned from the PGA Tour membership. I'm not too sure he can really do that, but he sounds pretty serious about it, guys. So how this thing continues to play out, what's going to be coming up. We talked about the DP World Tour, the DP putting money into the European Tour and naming it the DP World Tour. The PGA Tour has put money in the European Tour, trying to keep it away from some of these Saudi investment money. It's just a big story now, and I don't see it dying out anytime soon, guys.
It doesn't seem like it. And LIV Golf Investments for financial outlay is a 9-figure effort to promote a new global 10 event series on the Asian Tour over the next 10 years, Kieran. So like Fred was mentioning, this is continuously developing because, of course, Jay Monahan has said, okay, you're going to be banned. There's some legality questioning regarding that. Of course, that's a private corporation. They can do whatever they want. But at the same time, you are banning somebody from earning the money that they would like, or basically the likelihood of making a living, right? But we have heard here in the top players saying, no, we're not going there. But would just this be the beginning of it? Okay, so far we're not going to do it, but when some of the other players starts doing it and seeing the fruit of this, I think this is just going to boil over, and we're going to start seeing some other big names starting to fight, because the money, even though the PGA Tour is giving a lot of money that we have seen, I mean, so many initiatives upping up the purses, just like the DP World Tour did. So how about this? I mean, super interesting what's going on.
Oh, I mean, this is the most seismic, event in golf for a long time. This is potentially a game changer, and it's going to be, ugly and controversial and contentious for years to come. And we won't have to wait long for the battle lines, for the first shots to be fired here, because the Saudi International event is coming up in February, just a few weeks away, effectively, 7 weeks away. And we look at the entry list for that already. You've got Phil Mickelson, you've got Dustin Johnson, you've got Bryson DeChambeau, Tommy Fleetwood, amongst others, Adam Scott, Henrik Stenson, all these guys are in that field. Xander Schauffele's in the field as well. They have all entered that event with the potential, the denying of a waiver from the PGA Tour to compete there, and with this potential lawsuit hanging over them, which shows these guys don't believe it. They don't believe, one, the PGA Tour and the European Tour or the DP World Tour will follow through with any sort of threat here. And it's going to be very ugly, because what move does the PGA Tour take now? If they were to try and come out and deny these guys the right to play in this event and earn massive money just from turning up, appearance money, then that's only going to antagonize these players and potentially get more guys on tour to actually side with the other players, and merely embolden and strengthen the resolve of the guys who actually want to go out and earn this money. Now, you can argue about the ethics of this money and going and doing it and whatever else, but these guys want to go and do it, and that's it. You pay them and they'll come, and that seems to be the way golf is. Whether that's a good thing or not, I mean, I think it's actually quite unappealing, but that's just how it is. It's a reality. And if the PGA Tour come out, with the gloves off and try and combat this instantly, then it might backfire on them, and it might strengthen Greg Norman's hand, and he might say, well, you know what? The PGA Tour doesn't care about you guys. We care about you guys. We're about the individual golfer fulfilling their potential, fulfilling their financial rewards, whereas you're just part of a machine in the PGA Tour. And that's how they'll try and sell it. And Greg Norman's a man with not an insignificant ego, I think it's fair to say. And this is all his part, a total ego journey, ego trip, and it's been funded by arguably some rather disreputable people. It's fair to say the least. So it's extraordinary, and it's going to really, really be this major story in just a few weeks' time. It'll be carnage potentially for the years to come. This is a real redrawing of the map, and people have to pick sides here. And it's going to be the outlook of golf as we know it will be changed by this, because these guys will not go away, because they have limitless funds behind them. And the PGA Tour can amp up the prize money, amp up the rewards and the bonuses. The DP World Tour can do the same. But when these players are basically being told, we'll pay you $10 million just for turning up for the week, that's these guys are already impossibly wealthy, and you can think, well, how much money do you really need? But these guys will turn up for it. So it's really fascinating. And I say the battle lines are drawn, and if the tour denies waivers to play in the Saudi International at the beginning of February, then I think it's going to lead to absolute carnage. And I think the only way that this waiver will ever have any weight to it is if potentially the Open Championship, the RNA, and the Masters tournament get involved, and they actually side with the PGA Tour. That's the only way that I think that could possibly lead to anything. We're even seeing Lee Westwood, who has to be said is, he's arguably given up the Ryder Cup captaincy next year just so he can play in this and be part of it. And that's a sign of what these guys are willing to do to take this money. And when you've been offered all this money just for turning up, then that's up to these guys. But it's a really fascinating tale. We have 10 events next year in the Asian Tour that are backed with this particular Saudi money, and that's just the beginning. Over the next 2, 3, 5 years, this is going to become just a game changer. Whether it's an attractive thing for golf, I think it's hard to feel clean about it. I think it's fair to say. Golf's gone to some fairly awkward places in the past, and they've tended to turn a blind eye to when money's thrown at them, as have other sports, has to be said. And golf seems to be jumping right in here into bed with these guys. And as a golf fan, I find it rather unattractive and unappealing. And but I'm afraid it's a reality, and it's one that's going to become the biggest story potentially in the game in the coming years, because it's going to be interesting. That's fair to say.
That's politely saying it. It's going to be very interesting. But in 7-8 weeks, we'll definitely know where this is headed. And the players also looking for some comfort. It's not only the money that they're going to earn, but the thing that they won't have to play as many tournaments as they are being forced to play otherwise. But anyway, that is our number 7, Greg Norman, CEO of LIV Golf Investments, and what they have already invested in, and the tour reaction. That was our number 7. So stay with us. Tomorrow, we're going to bring you number 6. Thank you for joining us.